Yeah, an organic sort of.
This Seattle, Washington is the home for Microsoft. Here's someone urging the Gates Foundation to divest from fossil fuels. Hi, this is a KPFA live video stream.
Yes, sir.
Do you expect Bill Gates to heed your message today?
No, I'm actually just holding the sign for them. But you know what? The Bill Gates Foundation does a lot of really good stuff in the world. And I believe that they have the power. If we can't get the people with power and money and influence to make the big changes, then what are the rest of us going to do? We can make the small changes that we want to do, but we need big, big infrastructure changes. And that's why on my sign for Shell, I said change. There's a lot of power, there's a lot of money, there's a lot of business expertise. If our big fossil fuel companies would get behind green and sustainable energy and change our system.
Were you encouraged by Tesla Corporation selling almost $1 billion worth of batteries that tap into their solar panels in just 1 week?
That's amazing, and I think people are waking up, people are making changes, and it's not that solar panels don't take certain types of fuels to be created, but our whole culture, our whole world's industry and business is based on fossil fuels. So many times, little people like us, we can do little things. We can change light bulbs, we can drive electric cars, we can walk, we can bike. But the changes that are needed to stop what's going on with global warming and the breakdown of the planet are critical and urgent, and so we need changes on big, big levels. And if there was some way to transform, I mean, a vision of having people who are running the big companies suddenly just wake up one morning, you know, Saul Paul on the road experiences and go, you know what, fossil fuels are tapped out. They're done. It was a good ride, but now we know the consequences and the cost of that. It's time for a change because they have the power, the money, the influence, the infrastructure, the experience. I would love to see that change happen.
It would seem like it's a consciousness problem too. I think
right.
All the people here are demonstrating the kind of consciousness that's needed to make a shift. And hopefully this will magnetize more people to join in.
Right. I think we're at a pivotal point. I think people are waking up. I think people are uneasy. People are scared. People don't know what to do because the system changes that are needed are so big. People don't know what else to do but keep doing what they're doing. But underneath it all is that unease and that panic and that sense that something is really wrong. They just don't know what to do. So if we can see some really strong leadership in our big structures and small things like this, you know, are just saying we're here, we love each other, we love the planet. You know, if you've got kids or grandkids, the world that they're inheriting is kind of really scary and sad to think about. And even if we made complete changes right now, the planet's going to be 100 years recovering from the damage that's already been done. It's like a living organism. It's like your body. People don't think about, they think about your organs like... Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay.
So you mentioned living organism. Wouldn't you think Mother Nature is on our side because she shut down the Shell drill rig last summer?
Yeah, they're trying to drill somewhere where I think I was just thinking about that on the way down here. It was like, you know, and maybe the volcanic activity we're seeing across the planet is Mother Earth going, this is the only way I can help cool myself because of what's going on. You know, who knows? But yeah, I believe there is a living entity, and I believe we have reached, like in our bodies, we think about our organs, but we don't think about the most critical thing for functioning, which is our acid-base balance in our body. Once that gets off, none of our enzyme systems work. That's what's happening to the planet. People think, oh, it's not that much of a change, but it's just critical enough that very interwoven ecosystems are breaking down and falling apart. And we're just beginning to see the tip of the changes that are occurring because of that, with the acidification of the oceans, the melting of the glaciers in the Antarctic, and it's frightening. And I don't think people realize how, you know, the bee die-off, the monarch butterfly decline. They pollinate our food. You know, it doesn't matter where you live in the world. You know. it doesn't matter where you live. This is one planet, one spaceship. We're all interwoven. No matter where you burn fossil fuels, we all breathe it.
There was a premiere of a new film about the beginning of Greenpeace, and there was one scene in the film where the Coast Guard had to detain some Greenpeace activists that were trying to shut down the Amchitka nuclear test.
Right.
And as the Coast Guard team was leaving, they dropped a crumpled up piece of paper. When the Greenpeace crew took that paper up and unraveled it, it was signed by all the crew members of the Coast Guard cutter saying they supported Greenpeace's move to shut down the nuclear test.
Right.
So I'm hoping and praying that we could see the authority structures. There's a lot of peaceful police around here, but we need the support. The police are workers too.
Right, exactly.
And the Coast Guard crewmen are workers.
Yeah.
You know, they're thought of as
and it doesn't matter if you
but-
deny what's going on, it's
Right.
still going to impact you, your children, your grandchildren. It's happening.
Yeah.
The climate science is incontrovertible, incontrovertible. And
That's correct.
That's what we're seeing. Everything that we're seeing is a result of that. So, it's not like we don't have, as somebody said, if somebody came up to me and said, I really like your sign, and they said the other expression they like is there is no planet B. There's no plan B, there's no planet B.
Yeah.
At least, not now.
That's right.
So, it's ours to take care of, and we're not doing a great job. Part of that was ignorance for many, many decades, but we know now, and there's nothing else to be done but to change.
All right, and thanks for being part of that.
All right.
And thanks for giving me your time today. It was
Okay,
really
thank you,
nice
sir.
talking to you.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Okay,
All
blessings.
right. Okay. Well, you heard it. That person, that lovely woman I just spoke with, is
Okay, we want to fill this whole
talking
lane.
about people power and the
This whole right lane here.
need for a
all
new
the way
consciousness
down.
to change
There's
things
a
and tip the
reason for
scales
us
here.
filling lanes,
And
because exactly,
we can count on the support of Mother Nature. She shut down the Shell rig last summer.
On this road,
It can
so
happen again.
They're telling us to fill this lane over here. And I'll sing another song. My rap name is Akumatu, which is an abbreviation. When you're born as a little Inupiaq baby, you are given Inupiaq names, which is from my culture. So, and it's usually after someone who had passed along. So I'm named Akuchuk, which is after my great-grandfather, and my great-grandmother wanted me to be named after him. It doesn't really mean anything other than it was his name. And then Matumiak is from my great uncle, and so my rap name is abbreviation of two of it. It's Aku and Matu, Akuchuk and Matumiak. But I also have Panikpak, which actually means big daughter, and then Taipana, which is named after a woman that my mom was friends with. So when you're a little Inupiaq person and you have a name of an elder or an ancestor, those elders treat you like as if you are that person. So I was named Akuchuk, and I had about 9 elders talking to me like I was their dad when I was a little tiny toddler. So we believe that the person comes back, has another life in the young person, whoever is named that name. So it's a really cool thing. And my names are Akuchuk, Matumiak, Panikpak, and Taipana. And my rap name is Akumatu. Thank you. Where am I? Is this a future? Oh, hi! I recognize you. Oh, hi! Ari nga, Elisa Maranga. Ikaw Maranga, Ari nga. Tato Kapkipsi. Sinikpak to na. I remember. Oh, it's so bright. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, we made it. I'm an ancestor from the future. Ancestor from the future. I'm an ancestor from the future. Ancestor from the future. I'm an ancestor and I got to say I love you in a long time ago kind of way. Oh, remind you to wake up and do what you got to do. You see, everybody on the planet was once a little baby. Even you remember Asu. Let's go back in time. Each and every one of you listening to this rhyme. Remember when you landed on the planet as a precious baby. You had a journey to complete, a dream in your heart, so strong and distinct. Yes, you came with the light burning bright inside you, a flame. Do you remember now your aim, your calling, your inner heart's vow? Yes, even you, and even you, and you, and you, and you, and you too. Yeah, it's time to wake up and remember why you arrived on the earth, not just to survive, but to give birth to your dream. You are worth everything. Your dream is coming true for you and you and you and you and you and you and you. I'm an ancestor from the future. Ancestor from the future. I'm an ancestor from the future. Ancestor from the future. I'm an ancestor and I got to say I love you in a long time ago kind of way. See? You are doing it! You are remembering! You know it is now safe for you to be who you really are. And you now know that you are loved and supported, and all the ancestors are with you all the time. And they send you their love, and they say a big hello. And you are now free to live all of your dreams. Okay? Oh yeah! Oh yes! All the ancestors say yay! Yay! Remember, do and be you, okay? Okay! I'm an ancestor from the future. Ancestor from the future. I'm an ancestor from the future. Ancestor from the future. I'm an ancestor and I got to say I love you in a long time ago kind of way. Let's let go of all our negativity today, okay? Woo! Ready? Are we ready to let it go? Ready? Now! Yay! It's gone! It's going up to the sun! All that negativity from the whole planet! All burning up in the sun! As we envision a new day and a new way. Ariga, kuyanak. Remember. Yay, thank you. I'm Akumatu.
Wasn't that so awesome? Show Allison some love! Woo! Awesome. It's really great to see some wonderful faces. We've got a lot more performers and speakers in store for you. But right now, I kind of want to do a chant because that's what I do. All right, we're going to do 1. We are the people. 2. A little bit louder. 3. We want shout out of Seattle. 1. We are the people. 2. A little bit louder. 3. We want shout out of Seattle. 1. We are the people. 2. A little
people too. A little bit louder, free. We want Shell out of Seattle.
See, you guys don't even need me right now. All right, please welcome our next speaker. They are the executive director of Got Green, a wonderful grassroots nonprofit dedicated to the intersection of economic justice and environmental justice. They're fiercely led and awesome. Please welcome Jill.
Workers were killed in a factory fire. There was toxic chemicals all over the place, no fire standards. There were bars on the windows, and that they could not escape. Things like this just break my heart, fill me with rage. I can't believe that, you know, in places here in Seattle and around the world that people are treated like this, that workers, majority of women in this factory were killed and didn't have a chance. We've seen those somewhere. We saw it in Bangladesh, we saw it, you know,
Just wandering around the protest area here. There are quite a few people giving free drinks and coffee. It's really good to see the support.
Or same here. Do you want to do the same? Okay, so that's the case then.
This seems to be the stopping point. Looks like there is an open gate, but I think that's the limit. And the rig is just off there and behind this building. This is John Peroulis. I'm with the KPFA 94.1 Berkeley, California video team. We're live streaming this. It is 8:20 local time, approximately. There's a large, peaceful gathering of different groups with the same goal to frustrate Shell in this gigantic drill rig that is poised to start exploratory oil well drilling in the Chukchi Sea in the Arctic off the coast of Alaska. Last year, Shell lost a rig. Well, it broke from its mooring and ran up against the shore and was disabled, and that ended it. So some may feel that that is Mother Earth interjecting her voice into this insanity of endless oil drilling. Well, hopefully, and I believe that it will be more than hope. It'll be the dawn of new consciousness around how we treat the earth.
It's an environmental justice issue. Because the way I see it, environmental justice equals climate justice, equals racial justice. And we are not free until all our people are free. And I just want to bring forth also that women of color, trans people, will be hit the hardest by the climate chaos. We are not talking enough about gender justice in this issue. Has to be led, especially by LGBTQ and trans people and people of color, because they will be hit the hardest by the violence, by the poverty, by the displacement. We have to take their lead. We have to understand that violence, that exploitation, that extraction is equivalent, that incarceration, that militarization, that profit is equivalent to climate, chaos, and violence, and we must make it stop. And where I come from,
I come from two homes. My family comes from the Philippines, and I grew up here in West Seattle, and I grew up looking at these rigs and these things at the port, and I thought they were dinosaurs. I used to call them land before time, and I used to think that the clouds from that factory were clouds and not pollution. I used to think that this place was the greenest place in the world, and yet I know, I'm learning that this place will also be impacted by climate change, is impacted by climate change, that there is flooding happening in South Park and Georgetown, that there is more air pollution in South Seattle than a lot of regions in this state, that there is a statewide drought impacting our access to water and food. And that in a few years, that we will be seeing the prices go up and people of color and low-income people being pushed out further and pushed away. And I don't want to see that. And so I invite you to think about how this is internationally impacting workers and people we love around the world, but how it impacts people here in Seattle, our health, our homes, our livelihood, our families. Everybody here should take a stand and also say, no, climate change is happening here in Seattle. Here we have the sun, and yet there's heat waves, and people don't have enough cooling centers in the south end, and that there's flooding, and people don't have enough money to repair their homes, and that there are rising costs with this sustainable city, and that people will not be able to live here in a few years. That is wrong. And so we have to fight for economic justice, for racial justice, for gender justice, if we are going to fight for climate justice. Thank you.
Thank you, Jill. Jill is so right about so much. This is more than just getting Shell out of Seattle. We are trying to get Shell out of the world. Exploitation will not stand. Exploitation of brown bodies, of women's bodies, of land and our livelihood will not stand. And that's what we are all here to say to Shell right now. I've been very rude. I've been emceeing and I haven't introduced myself once. I am Lori Torres and I am with Gabriela Seattle, which is part of Bayan Seattle. Yes, and like Jill, my parents are also from the Philippines. I am a Filipino woman and proud of that fact. And I also know that Typhoon Haiyan was one of the strongest typhoons in recent history. And that is not an accident. It is not an accident that we have typhoons in the Philippines every year. It is not an accident that foreign companies go to Philippines to extract their resources, just like Shell is trying to do here. It is not an accident. They are profiting from people's lives over there. It's not an accident. I heard an anecdote the other day from one of the speakers I am going to be introducing in just a little bit. Shell has said, we've never had this much resistance before. Yeah. They haven't seen anything yet. In fact, while Jill was speaking, I got word that workers on the flyway are being turned away. They're being turned away because you are here. You are here, showing them that they cannot do this to our planet. They cannot do this to our community. Awesome. Anyway, back to that anecdote. Shell was like, we've never seen this much resistance. But that's a lie. Yes, they have. Yes, they have, and we just didn't hear about it. There's always been resistance, damn straight. In Nigeria, where Shell operates, there have been people who were injured and killed because Shell hired their military to go after the people. Shell hired people to harm the people who are already living there. They tried to kill them, literally tried to kill them, and they say they haven't seen resistance. They've seen resistance. And with that, please welcome Sahar Takola, who can't say more, and Renaissance. They'll be performing and speaking to you. Thank you.
Sure. Let me figure out a way.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Hey, how's it going? Good Lord.
I understand why you might have felt like this did not concern you before. They had us tricked. They had us believing that climate change only affected polar bears and environmental issues were something only rich yuppies were to be concerned with. But they were wrong. This affects you. This affects us all, and it's affecting the poorest and most vulnerable the hardest. And it's happening now. And we are all responsible, some of us more than others. And if it took all of us to create this problem, it will take all of us to solve this problem. It will take collective action to change our culture from consumerism to community-driven, from fossil fuel to fossil-free. We can recreate this green economy.
The climate is broken, 2 degrees of change. CO2 and fossil fuel now come to be the bane of human existence as it falling with the rain. Lakes are drying up, rising tides in the bays. Walls are failing, Katrina hurricane, and islands disappearing underneath the waves as the temperature rises. Still dealing with disguises for the truth, not peeping all the facts of the science. Economic spending needing powerful amending. Government relentless in the aim to defend it, but we're overusing carbon sinks, push us to the brink. Yeah, what will we think when half the tropics go extinct? Can't convert the air we breathe, dealing with the enemy. Droughts become a common thing, stopping folks from growing wheat. Now we're starving, can't compete. Global markets looking bleak. Farmlands turn to deserts, only the rich can take the heat. The problem is unfortunate, the ones most responsible, the ones least impacted. Nominal, demonstrable, carbon footprint that's using 4 Earth's worth of our resources. We make consumers from birth, for to eat the lies, the TV nights, fast food, cheap gas, pre-cooked lies, lies. We're over-consuming the people that's doing the work that we need to go off food. We're quick in the room while steady pursuing our pain or heat to slow the crew. Oil from spilling, gases hit the ceiling, atmosphere, limits revealing, tragedy. The heart of the villain is we killing to drive the motor desire to make a change and people be right, acting in a self-interest while discounting the publics. The government must assert its influence, limit production, limit with taxes, late riches, allow renewables access. The cost of our actions are really attractive. I'm forgetting everything. How can we fight against the problems so embedded in our systems? We're barely treating all the symptoms. And why are politicians able to deny with convictions while climate champions in Congress be playing the victim? The division's a sick one and points to one solution. With citizens' initiative, we can build a revolution. And with every single person chipping in their contribution, we can begin to take our power back and build a revolution. Through protests and petitions, we're the streets with a mission. Through protests and petitions, we'll hit the streets with a mission. Yeah, we will. No. Through protests and petitions, we'll hit the streets with a mission. Use our passion to convey not just a crisis, but vision of a future where the people make the final decision about the world and equity of the world we want to live in. All right, friends. So we are shut down right now, but we want to make sure this terminal stays shut down. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this program over to the flyover blockade to make sure that that can't get shut down. And we're going to do another program simultaneously at the employee gate blockade with this little megaphone here. So we have 2 different programs going at the same time. So we're all going over to the flyover gate.
Well, you heard the man.
But it would be great if some of you moved to the other
blockade is split in 2.
So maybe some of y'all in the back. We're going to do a program there, too.
There's a flyover gate. I see a group, another coalition group over there right now. Going to wander around. This is John Perulis. We're broadcasting live on the KPFA 94.1 live video stream originating from Berkeley, California. KPFA was the first station to start call-in radio. It was started by pacifists, and it has burgeoned into a network, Pacifica Network, that has half a dozen stations around the country. Democracy Now! Was birthed in the Pacifica Network. Rise, Cascadia, rise, protect our waters and skies. Salmon and orca, cedar and fir, rise, Cascadia, rise. This is the flag of Cascadia. Good to see Cascadia out here. Can you tell us a little bit about Cascadia and how they feel about this oil rig?
Absolutely. So we're here with the group Cascadia Now, and we're here to say Shell No. So I think that's about it.
All right. Were you part of the kayak team yesterday?
We had a lot of our members go out as part of the kayak teams, and then we also hosted a wonderful potluck and art making party at Jefferson Park and at the Beacon Hill Food Forest, where we were able to bring several hundred people together to make art and celebrate the wonderful things that we like about the region, but also to get people pumped up and energized about today.
What's the best website to send people to so they can learn something about Cascadia and what this incredible bioregion is all about?
You can always learn more about our wonderful bioregion at cascadianow.org.
Cascadianow.org.
All right, absolutely, and thank you.
Indigenous person, and she's delivering a solidarity statement with the climate justice warriors. Oh, the Pacific climate warriors, excuse me.
One? I actually live on Second and Hey, everything, I'm Morpheus. Nice to meet you. This is Margot.
I am Selena. And like Joy shared, I am a mother of color, an indigenous feminist. And I am from Guam. And today, as I prepared this speech, I could not stop but think of a song. As I was a child, I was taught about our love for the land and for the sea. And I want to share it with all of you. It is called We Are One. Unuhit zanitanu itasiata zanilanhit. We are one with the earth, with the sky, with the sun, with the sea. We are one. Thank you. And that song resonated with me because I thought about this movement here today. This movement to tell Shell No. This movement to say that we are connected to the land, to the water, to the sea. And I'm here to say that I stand in solidarity with our indigenous peoples in the Arctic, with all the Coast Salish tribes that are stewards of the Salish Sea. And like Jill shared earlier, people of color, indigenous people, women of color, and mothers are the most impacted by climate chaos. And that is the truth. And as Laura shared, I am here today to read and share a solidarity letter from the Pacific climate warriors who stood and blockaded on Australian shores. Yes. To say no to fossil fuels, to coal, to extraction. And I am also here to say how I'm connected to this movement as a Chamorro woman. That I stand in solidarity with my indigenous people and people of color most impacted by extraction and global climate chaos. From Alaska to the Pacific, fighting to keep our waters and lands fossil fuel free. As a Chamarita from the island of Guam, recently impacted by Typhoon Dolphin, I stand in solidarity to demand climate justice now. Against the degradation of our land, our water, and our human rights and people. Guam and our Pacific Islands are also being devastated by big oil companies and systems of colonialism, racism, environmental racism, and capitalism, destroying our lands, destroying our coral reefs, while displacing our peoples. I want to say that our lands are sacred because land is life. Our waters are sacred because water is life. And we are sacred. And we deserve justice. With that now, I will share the Pacific Climate Warriors' powerful solidarity letter in support of us Shall No activists. To the Shall No activists and community members of the Pacific Northwest, the Pacific Climate Warriors want to send a statement of gratitude and support for your upcoming rallies and actions on May 16th and 18th, opposing Shell's attempts to drill for oil in the Arctic. Last year, 30 of our Pacific Climate Warriors from 12 different Pacific Island countries paddled our traditional hand-carved canoes into the port of Newcastle in Australia to blockade one of the largest coal shipping terminals in the world. We were supported by hundreds of Australians in kayaks and from thousands of people on land as we declared that we wouldn't allow the fossil fuel industry to destroy our cultures and lands. Shut it down! Shut it down! We are not drowning, we are fighting! We are not drowning, we are fighting! This action marked a turning point for us in realizing that we cannot merely hope that the governments of our small countries will save our communities from the climate crisis. Rather, our focus must be on building large social movements that can work across cultures and differences, creating the political power necessary to challenge the world's largest corporations. Science tells us that we must keep carbon in the ground and end the age of fossil fuels. But companies like Shell and the relentless pursuit of drilling in the Arctic set us up on a path of catastrophe. Just as our tiny canoes stare down giant coal ships, your kayaks will stare down Shell's massive oil drilling rigs, a modern-day battle of David versus Goliath. Yeah! A battle that together we will win. Yeah! Thank you for your hard work in organizing. The climate crisis is a global one, and it demands that we build movements that are global as well. As you are confronting Shell's massive Arctic drilling rig in Seattle, just as we confronted massive coal barges in Newcastle, we stand together in solidarity so that neither of our communities are destroyed by the reckless drive of the fossil fuel industry. With love and solidarity, the Pacific Climate Warriors. Thank you.
That was an amazing message. Thank you once again to Selena. Give her some love. I love that we've had mostly POC speakers and performers up until this point. And I love seeing so many beautiful faces out there. I love that this is intergenerational as well. So please join me in giving a warm welcome to a Seattle institution, the Raging Grannies.
Hello everyone, we're the Seattle Raging Grannies, and we're so delighted to be here and a part of this movement, and so glad to be intergenerational. We've got really young people and we've got us. So thank you so much for your welcome. We are also joined by one of our sisters from Portland Raging Grannies today. And without further ado, we're going to sing.
We're a gaggle of grannies, urging you off of your fannies. You can do what's right to change the world's plight. Rescind the lease. Shell oil in the Arctic is frightening. Without them, the future is brightening. Shell's record is break of fellas we seek. Rescind the lease. Obama doesn't have the sense that we're all do. Keep temperatures from rising more than a degree or two. So join this gaggle of grannies. Get off of your fannies. We're saying no. Well, no. Rescind the lease. We mean precisely rescind the lease. We will say it very nicely. Rescind the lease. Read our lips. We're radical environmentalists. We're radical environmentalists. We like clean air and clean water and our beaches in good order. We're radical environmentalists. Oh, we don't like energy from fossil fuels. And we know that drilling kills, we ain't no fools. And we'd rather see those windmill blades than oil spilling on Arctic waterways. We're radical environmentalists. Yeah, we've been drilling in the Arctic in our time, but we'll stand against that tail-shell drilling rig. We don't want their Arctic oil mucking up our earth and soil, 'cause we're radical environmentalists. Yes, we're radical environmentalists. Mrs. Mother Earth has made us so pissed. So get out and tell the others that the earth is still our mother. Then you'll all be true environmentalists. Yeah!
This song was written about 15 to 20 years ago, and it was when one of our members was called a radical environmentalist. So in those days it was a dirty word, but we're all going to be radical environmentalists, right?
Okay. The USA's now to fossil fuel and oil, so drilling in the Arctic makes our forests, our blood just boil. We warned them that the oil would spill and change them evermore. You shall not pass shell oil. Take your friggin' rigs and move them from our port. Take your friggin' rigs and don't come back no more. Take your friggin' rigs, 'cause we don't want you here. No shell in the Arctic for sure. You suck the oil from the sea and poison all the soil. You suck the profits from the work while others sweat and toil. You suck the life breath from us while you plunder and destroy. Not one more chance to despoil. Everybody sing. Take your friggin' rigs and move them from our port. Take your friggin' rigs and don't come back no more. Take your friggin' rigs, 'cause we don't want you here. No shell in the Arctic for sure. Bypass all the inspections and ignore the warning signs. You bribe your way to drilling rights and profit from your crimes. Your placid drilling has pillaged and polluted all the world. No shell, nowhere, no more.
It's the Raging Grannies, Seattle. Gonna move over to the other group at the other end of the thoroughfare. It looks like there's several entry points to Terminal 5. Terminal 5 is where Shell's gigantic drill rig called the Polar Pioneer is tied up or moored. I can't go any closer than these buildings in front, but you could see the tower of the rig, probably right in the center of this video frame. It's shooting up there almost 1,000 feet tall. The plan is to drill exploratory wells in the Chukchi Sea, which is an environmentally rich sea, orcas, whales, salmon. It's loaded with marine life that's going to be imperiled by drilling, not to mention the release of carbon and the potential for spills. This is a dangerous, foolish place to drill for oil. This group is devoted, heart, mind, and soul, to reversing this potential terror, this existing terror.
Background vocals that has a little dance that goes with it, which I will teach. You want to get my portfolio is high. I'm going on vacation. Anywhere I wanna, put it on my card. I could use a little sun and to see some ancient ruins. The pyramids are calling, off to Egypt I will fly. I go swimming in the big Egyptian river, bathing in the waters of denial. The sun is shining down and everybody's happy, bathing in the waters of denial. Alright, that's the chorus. This is the background vocals. This is your part, Al. I go swimming in the big Egyptian backstroke, breaststroke, side stroke, crawl. I know it looks hard, but we're going to rehearse this, okay? Backstroke, breaststroke, side stroke, crawl. Backstroke, breaststroke, side stroke, crawl. Very good. I go swimming in the big backstroke, breaststroke, side stroke, Egyptian. Backstroke, breaststroke, side stroke, crawl. Bathing in the water. He's got it. Of denial. He's got it. He's got it all. Okay, got that? He's got it all. Bathing in the water. He's got it. Of denial. He's got it. He's got it all. The sun is shining down and everybody's happy, happy. He's so happy, happy. All right, everybody happy? All right. Bathing in the water of denial. Let's try the whole chorus now. Backstroke, breaststroke, side stroke. Well, I go swimming in the big backstroke, breaststroke, Egyptian. Backstroke, breaststroke, side stroke, crawl. Bathing in the water. He's got it. Of denial. He's got it. He's got it all. The sun is shining down and everybody's happy, happy. So happy, happy. Bathing in the waters of denial. My job is so secure and my government is stable. The weather's getting better, a little warmer every year. And now we've got free trade and everyone will prosper. The locals here are happy. I think I'll have another beer. Let's go swimming now. We're swimming in the big backstroke, breaststroke, Egyptian. Backstroke, breaststroke, side stroke, crawl. Bathing in the waters. He's got it. Of denial. He's got it. He's got it all. The sun is shining down and everybody's happy, happy. So happy, happy. Bathing in the waters of denial. I thought I heard a bomb. It must be a celebration. If anything was wrong, they tell me on TV. Some Sometimes I am amazed how perfect things are going. I think I'll do some shopping and take a little time for me. Everybody's doing it, with swimming in the big Egyptian backstroke, breaststroke, side stroke, crawl, bathing in the waters of the Nile. He's got it all. The sun is shining down. Everybody's happy, happy, so happy, happy, bathing in the waters of the Nile. We'll go bathing in the waters of the Nile.
Now, here's an aerial map. This is actually a permit notice for remodeling the port, but the shell rig is tied up here, and we're over here, right here. And you could see the compass is pointing north. This is Terminal 5.
Died at the hamburger fry. Cows well done. Nobody thought it. Nobody knew. No one imagined the great cow.
Yes, four-leggeds are welcome.
Cows are one. He hits the forest, great books of the great field. From Che Guevara, a revolutionary field. Cows say tongue. He spoke about justice, but nobody stirred. He felt like an outcast, alone, in the herd. Cow doll drum. He booed, we must fight. Escape or we'll die. Cows gathered around, because the stakes were so high. Bad cow pun. But then he was captured, stuffed into a crate, loaded onto a truck, where he rode to his fate. Cows are bummed. He was a scrawny calf who looked rather woozy. No one suspected he was packing an Uzi. Cows with guns. They came with a needle to stick in his thigh. He kicked for the groin. He pissed in their eye. Cow well hung. Knocked over a tractor and ran for the door. 6 gallons of gas flowed out on the floor. Run, cows, run. He picked up a bullhorn and jumped up on the hay. We are free-roving bovines. We run free today. We will fight for bovine freedom and hold our large heads high. We will run free with the buffalo or die. Cows with guns. All right, that's the sing-along part. We will fight for bovine freedom. We will fight for bovine freedom and hold our large heads high and hold our large heads high. We'll run free with the buffalo. We will run free with the buffalo or die. Cows with guns. They crashed the gate in a great stampede, tipped over a milk truck, torched all the feed. Cows have fun. 60 police cars were piled in a heap, covered in cow pines, covered up deep. Much cow dung. Black smoke rising, darkening the day. 12 burning McDonald's. Have it your way. We will fight for bovine freedom, and hold our large heads high, and hold our large heads high. We'll run free with the buffalo. We will run free with the buffalo or die. Cows with guns. The president said, "Enough is enough. These uppity cattle, it's time to get tough." Cow dung flung. The newspapers gloated, folks sighed with relief. Tomorrow at noon, they would all be ground beef. Cows on buns. The cows were surrounded. They waited and prayed. They mooed their last moos. They chewed their last hay. Cows outgunned. The order was given to turn cows to whoppers, enforced by the might of 10,000 coppers. But on the horizon, surrounding the shoppers, came the deafening roar of chickens in choppers. We will fight for bovine freedom and hold our large heads high. We will run free with the buffalo or die. Cows with guns.
It goes 800 years. We fought you without fear, and we'll fight you for 800 more.
Did you do the song about defending your country?
Yes.
Oh, you did? I missed it. Oh, I was down at the other end.
Oh, no, I haven't done it yet.
You haven't? Are you going to do it?
It's live.
Oh, good. This is a live broadcast
cool.
from KPFA radio station
excellent.
94.1 video team.
Awesome.
Can you put that again over there with the sound system?
Hello, my name is Selena Velasco.
We'll do it later on. I'll do it for you later
Okay.
on. We're not going to the other one now.
Good.
A mother of color, and I am here today.
That's an incredible song. I'll stick around for that. It's really worth listening to.
Issued a blockade in Australia on the shore. And I am also here to speak to this movement and why it resonates with me as a Pacific Islander woman.
I see a bus. Looks like
Sorry, let me get my seat.
it's a glorified paddy wagon. It's got its engines roaring, but I don't see any movement by the police to begin arresting anyone. It's a very happy, peaceful crowd that's singing and chanting,
Stewards of the Salish Sea.
and also stopping work at the shell rig. That's why Monday was selected, a work day. Monday was selected because it's a work day to stop this shell rig from doing its disastrous work.
From Alaska to the Pacific Islands, to keep our waters and lands fossil fuel free. As a Chamarita from the island of Guam, recently impacted by Typhoon Chalfin, I stand in solidarity to demand climate justice now. Against the degradation of our land, water, and our people. Guam and our Pacific Islands have been devastated and continue to be devastated by big oil companies and systems of colonization, environmental racism, and capitalism, destroying our land, our coral reefs, our fish supplies, and our land.
This is Seattle. This is a coffee stand. I don't know if they're charging for it. Oh yeah, donations, okay. That's cool. And here's another four-legged little poodle.
You bring that just for the photo op?
I wouldn't mind going to some of it.
There doesn't seem like there's a movement of police here to begin arresting people or dispersing this crowd. I get the feeling from looking at the police, they're chatting, having cups of coffee or something. They are not dressed in riot gear. There's been no indication of that. I think they're just going to let this day blow away. Now, it would be great to see more days like this to stop this rig from doing its dirty work to the environment. This is John Peroulis. I am with the KPFA 94.1 FM Berkeley, California video team. Please support the station. We are going through a fund drive right now. 510-848-6767. Call and donate money to support the great work of this station. The Pacifica Network spawned many beautiful things, including Democracy Now! One of the few radio stations that supports the labor movement. There's a labor program run by Steve Zeltzer, a longtime labor activist at the station. Steve just came back from South Africa, where he met with MUMSA, the mine workers union. They'll be coming to the Bay Area to talk and tell everyone the latest about what South African Miners Union is doing. So support the station, area code 510-848-6767. I always wanted to meet the guy saying cows with guns. It was just purely accidental. Serendipity is at play at demonstrations like this. I often run into the most interesting people, and of course the unexpected. Can always count on the unexpected. So this group is united, however it's split in two physically, not ideologically, to block two entrances to the drill rig, and it doesn't look like any traffic is getting through. It doesn't look like any workers are going to the rig. Helicopters are still flying overhead. There's a large news presence out here. They're still here. They've been here since 7 o'clock. It's now 9 o'clock Pacific time, local time here, 9 a.m. in the morning.
Fire in Washington State history. It was larger than the Seattle Bellevue metropolitan area. It was massive. 350 houses were lost. 350 of my neighbors and friends lost their homes in this fire. I was evacuated for 10 days. Cows ran on fire from the flames. We lost animals, we lost homes, but we didn't lose our resolve to fight the fossil fuel industry. And I'm holding them directly accountable for what happened to me, what happened to us, what's happening to our world. And I'm here today with you all because I think it's time to throw ourselves on the gears of the machine to stop what they're doing to us. And I, for one, I'm mad as hell. I ain't gonna take it no more. That's right, so here I am, representing with my friend Phyllis, the east side of the Cascades. And anyhow, it's time
time to get arrested. It's time to throw ourselves on the gears of the machine and stop this bullshit and take our world back. So, I just like to sing a couple of songs for you. Please do join in on the chorus. It goes like this. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved, just like a tiger standing in the water. We shall not be moved. Sing it with us now. Oh, we shall not be moved. Oh, we shall not be moved, just like a kayak standing in the water. We shall not be moved. We remember the Exxon Valdez, and we shall not be moved. We remember the BBC oil spill, and we shall not be moved, just like a kayak standing in the water. We shall not be moved. Sing it with us. Oh, we shall not be moved. Oh, we shall not be moved, just like a kayak standing by the water. We shall not be moved. We're holding Shell accountable, and we shall not be moved. And we'll remember in November, and we shall not be moved, just like a kayak standing in the water. Yeah, we shall not be moved. Everybody. Oh, we shall not be moved. We shall not be moved, just like a kayak standing in the water. We shall not be moved. Thank you so much. Love your voices. Love your voices. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. All right, let's just do one more here. I'm sure there's lots of people that want to talk, and just thank you all for coming out. It is time, and we are the change. We are the change. And we are here. We are unstoppable. We ain't gonna let this happen no more. We're done. We're done. We are done. Let this happen. All right. Figure it out. That's right. Figure it out. Oh yeah. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. Oh, turn me around. Oh, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up the freedom land. Ain't gonna let no looters turn me around. Oh, turn me around. Oh, no, turn me around. Ain't gonna let no looters turn me around. I'm gonna keep on dancing, keep on jumping, marching up the freedom land. Sing with me. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. Oh, turn me around. Woo-hoo. Turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep
Turn me around, ain't gonna let you go. Turn me around, I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up your freedom land. Ain't gonna let police turn me around, oh, turn me around, turn me around, let police turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up the freedom land. Everybody, ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, oh, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up the freedom land. Ain't gonna let corporations turn me around, oh, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let corporations turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom land. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, no, no, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom. Oh, 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 marching up to freedom land. Marching up to freedom land. Marching up to freedom land. Marching up to freedom land.
Looks like there was a truck there trying to get through, and the police turned them away. So this is pretty cool. Looks like a truck was just turned away. Okay, John Perulis, KPFA 94.1 FM, Berkeley, California, live video team. I'm going to take a 5-minute break. That means I have to shut the stream off for a few minutes, maybe not 5 minutes, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. So stay with us. We will be right back presently. and that gives me a chance to have a little break. I'm out here by myself shooting this. Circumstances were kind in my life to enable this thing to happen for KPFA. I am here in the Seattle area for a month, and this opportunity presented itself. I couldn't